Be watching, left and right. I pray God will provide for us tonight. My friends called me Abu, and I've been hunting for over 20 years in Africa. I hunt many animals, but pangolin is different. It's very expensive and scarce. The jungle is dangerous. Àìmọye ọlọ́dẹ tó ti kú ní reserve tá a máa ń lọ. When you are going in search of pangolin, by hearing its noise, you know. Here's a. All right, escape. Yes. Thank you, God. Let's go. I've got one pangolino. I used to go to jungle in a week, 2 weeks, and you discover 4 or 5 pangolin. But now, it's not common. It's not common.
Pangolins are being wiped out. All of them are threatened with extinction, driven by the demand for their scales.
These are pangolin scales. Some people consider more valuable than ivory.
The pangolin is now the most illegally trafficked mammal, even before the rhino horn.
The global illegal wildlife industry has been estimated upwards of $23 billion a year.
It is not child's play. People are really making a lot of money from illegal trafficking of wildlife. We are not serious about wildlife laws, but wildlife actually matters.
If we think we are superior, kill everything, in the end, we're going to kill ourselves.
Did it have enough to eat?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. It was so active yesterday. Yeah. Before 2015, Nigeria was not really known as a country of importance when it comes to pangolin trafficking. But by 2016, till present day, we have become the hotspot of exporting pangolin scales. Hello, docs. Good afternoon.
Wow, lovely.
We need to do morphometrics, taking samples just to check that it is healthy.
What's the name of it?
Rocky.
Rocky. Wow.
Okay, Rocky.
Welcome, Rocky. So we have to check the sex. Let's see if it's male or female.
Still struggling.
Okay, good. Okay, Rocky is 1,076 grams.
1,076 grams?
Yes.
Sometimes we get pangolins that are injured, from the field or from the wildlife trade. What we do is we treat them to make sure they are healthy before we release them. That's another tick, okay? They are very shy, they are very shy, they are very sensitive. One of them in a year can eat millions of ants and termites. So we call them natural pest controllers. So we cannot overemphasize the importance of the pangolin in the ecosystem. Oh God. Okay, so this particular pangolin we have here is very active, but we need to take some measurements. So what we have done is to calm it down. Very little is known about the pangolins. Everything we do is just to know more so that we can help them more. So there's quite a lot to learn from the pangolins. quite a lot.
At the international level, any international trade in pangolins or their derivatives is illegal. Hundreds of countries across the world committed to this wildlife protection law, and the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Fauna and Flora, or CITES, meaning that these signatories, countries such as China and Nigeria, have signed up and made commitments to make sure that trade in protected species is illegal.
Business as usual is no longer an option. Everybody has agreed to this.
There have been some notable investigations and enforcement effort, but on the whole, trafficking groups are operating with almost complete impunity.
In Nigeria, the law states that if you are caught with a pangolin, you will pay 5 million naira or go to 1 year in prison. But what do we see? A lot of black markets are thriving. It's not that the laws are not there. The laws are there, but nobody is enforcing those laws.
So mo dúpẹ́ ohun tí mo rí mo ra akíka wá. Akíka eléyìí báyìí, akíka ó jẹ́ ẹran tó jẹ́ pé kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ gbówó lórí nígbà náà. Gbogbo èèyàn ló lè rà jẹ nígbà náà. Ìgbà tí àkókò kan wá tó, àwọn aláwọ̀ dúdú wọ́n ti ń wọlé wá, àgàgà àwọn Chinese wọ̀nyí, pé wọ́n ní ìlò ẹ̀ gidigidi. Lóòótọ́ báyìí o, èmi ò wá mọ ohun tó fà á tí àwọn Chinese wọ̀nyí tí wọ́n fi ń wá akíka. Ìtiwa ni pé a ṣáà mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa ń wá gidigidi ní. Oye tí wọ́n wá fi ń rà lọ́wọ́ wa, a wá rí pé ó jẹ́ owó tó gọgọbọi.
Which one?
People source for pangolins for two things: for the meat, for the scales. In Asia, in China especially, they use the pangolin scales in traditional Chinese medicine. They tell you that the scales can be used to cure arthritis, to let you lactate, for everything. In fact, they are even claiming that it can cure cancer. So China is the driving force to pangolin trafficking, because the pangolins are only found in two continents, Asia and Africa. Now, they have totally and unsustainably exploited their own pangolin species in China. So the focus is now on Africa to get the pangolins they need.
What do you bring?
I have something. Pangolin.
A pangolin?
Yes.
Wow.
Tó ń ra ẹran lọ́wọ́ wa, táwa bá ti tà fún wọn, àwọn náà wọ́n á gbé tó, wọ́n á tà fún àwọn tó bá wù wọ́n, àwọn ló ń tà fún Chinese bẹ́ẹ̀, àwa wọ̀nyí.
How much?
Since 4 days now I was in the jungle, bring 10,000.
So how can I buy it 11,000? You know, bring 3,000?
Okay, do you know what will happen? I will less 2,000 from you, pay 8,000.
Huh?
Pay 8,000.
Let me give you 4,000 naira. Let me give you 4,000 naira.
You can see the size now, it's very big. No?
I know. Let me give you 4,000 naira. Let me give you 4,000 naira. We are selling many bush meat. Antelope, grass cutter, alligator, bush dog, but the most important is pangolin. They don't need the real meat. They need the skin. Okay. The profit I am making in pangolin is more than other bush meat. This pangolin, na rich man that bought it. Pangolin, is very fast in the market. Before those Chinese people came, we are not how to using this scale. But now, immediately I just bought it. The buyer just come to me and buy it from me.
There's a network. And you have the hunters, you have the bushmeat sellers, then you have middlemen that will come to bushmeat sellers or bushmeat markets and then link up with the Chinese.
They avoid this pangolin scale. They are taking it to outside countries.
The price that a pangolin would be bought in a village would probably be less than $10 US. And then buyer in China is going to pay upwards of $1,000 to $2,000 US per kilogram.
Bá lẹ́tà, màá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, màá fi rí bùkátà àwọn ọmọ mi, family mi, àti àwọn ìyàwó àtọmọ àti school fees àwọn ọmọ mi, màá rí fi san. Ìdí tó fà á tá a fi ń dọdẹ yẹn nìyẹn.
China is focusing here to get the pangolins they need because our borders are porous and the corruption level in the country. They can bribe their way through and get the pangolins exported out of Africa.
The pangolin scales are typically consolidated in Nigeria, and then the shipments will travel over the sea, past South Africa, and head to places like Singapore and Malaysia. From there, they might go directly to China or into Vietnam. And when they hit Vietnam, in a port like Haiphong, pangolin scales will be broken down into the smaller shipments to conceal these products and sent into China, where the pangolin scales will enter the traditional Chinese medicine supply chain. It's a multinational crime in all respects.
Ở đây đúng không? Ở đây có phải không?
Vâng, đúng rồi đấy. Rồi nó rất là bé.
Mày có biết không? Cái con tê này là sẽ phải đếm đuôi ấy. Ví dụ như em nhìn cái đuôi của nó ấy.
INVE, one of the first organizations that are working on wildlife protection in Vietnam. We try to improve law and policy in relation to wildlife protection in Vietnam. Vietnam plays such an important part because Vietnam have the border with China, and traditionally the borders with China is easy to cross by Vietnamese. People had been using Vietnam as a layover country. However, we see that some pangolin scale will stay here to meet the demand here in Vietnam. We still see that pangolin scale in TCM shop. So our wildlife crime unit map out what are the network behind trading, selling pangolin scale or live pangolin. We try to target the major traders. We provide that information to law enforcement agency. Whenever we do any operations, we have to do it undercover to hide our identity in order to find the truth.
Đấy, thế nhưng mà nếu mà mình đi, mình chỉ đi duy nhất ở mình không đi thêm những cái địa điểm khác nữa hả?
Trước mắt là trước hết là mình đi lại Đắk để xem như thế nào, bởi vì là nơi tập trung nhiều cái cơ sở nhất.
We go into different business establishments in a specific district and to see like whether they are selling a pangolin scale or not.
Phải là một chút để mà lấy cho sữa nó ra, không phải cắt 7-8 cây có thể. Đấy ạ. Em biết ở đây ai cũng có bán không?
If we can get one shop arrested for selling pangolin scale, then it will be a very good example to deter other shop owners from selling pangolin scale.
Ngồi đây, ngồi ghế đi, cô vào trong nhà nó lấy chia ra luôn. Thẻ được bao lâu rồi?
Được khoảng 3 tháng rồi cô ạ. Còn đây là không bán cho cháu hàng sống, là hàng nguyên.
Đây cái này cho xem là gì? Cái chưa sao nhìn rõ.
Mua cho cái để ăn chứ có gì đâu đúng không? Nói là ai bán?
Thế chị đi nào rồi?
Đến cái cửa hàng đầu, hai vợ chồng chủ cửa hàng bảo là ôi dồi bán vải TT á, vải TT bây giờ bán là đi tù đấy, tù 5-7 năm đấy. Thế sau đó thì đến cái cửa hàng thứ hai là cửa hàng cũng chưa cởi mở đâu. Trong một lúc thì hỏi để mình hỏi mua là cho chị cho mình tắc sữa. Thế sau đấy thì bà hỏi mua bao nhiêu đấy. Trong cái này đây là một lạng vải này, 2 triệu đấy, cái này là 2 triệu này. Đây bà chủ đây, bà này tên nói bà cũng biết mà, bà cũng bảo là bán cái này là bây giờ là kiểu người ta cấm ấy. Như bà này thì bà cũng nói luôn là gì, là bà ấy bảo là những cái cửa hàng mà bán là những cửa hàng mà cũng là còn lại, kiểu ý là còn,
Tức là họ sẽ không dám tiếp tục
nhập để buôn bán nữa.
Đấy, cứ bảo như thế thôi.
thì cũng là một cái khía cạnh tốt, đúng không? Cũng cho thấy là có cái việc mà thực thi pháp luật rồi tuyên truyền phổ biến là cũng có vẻ là ổn hơn, đúng không?
Sometimes you can only get the small fish. It's not always easy to get the leaders of the network. You don't know who is behind that shipment. But we know that the majority of them go into China. Pangolin will be smuggled using a hidden trail or go with other legal products through the official route. Sometimes they will disguise the pangolin scale together with legal stuff, like vegetable, not even like medical commodities, you name it.
A pangolin trafficker may also traffic ivory, it may also traffic rhino horn or marine products. And actually, it's the same routes that are being used. These criminal networks are very clever and very sophisticated in the techniques that they're using. At the international level, trafficking pangolins is illegal. But then you can go to national levels, such as China, where there continues to be these exemptions at the national level in the laws, exemptions that mean that even protected species can be used commercially. However, in 2020, China announced that it was removing pangolin from the traditional Chinese medicine pharmacopoeia, which is a book containing different formulas of traditional medicine.
全国人大常委会迅速行动，作出关于全面禁止野生动物非法交易和使用的决定。
其中的6月5號，穿山甲升為國家1級保護野生動物。
嗱，所以除名嘅決定可謂皆大歡喜，兩全其美啊！
China has told us that they have removed or banned the use of pangolin scales in traditional medicine. But I'm not comfortable with this declaration.
我想我怎么拍你啊？因为这个话题比较敏感，我不太想因为这个事儿惹上麻烦。在中国买药非常的方便，你看这个药里边的，这里边成分里边也有穿山甲，这个醋山甲就是穿山甲。师傅了，这多久的？差不多20分钟吧。银行这边好，谢谢啊，不客气。国家已经禁止了穿山甲入药，但是现在这个还可以买到。这目的主要是啥？就它那药做啥？治风中风的，嘴歪眼斜，手足麻木。醋山甲。这2个药都是同仁堂的药，同仁堂是中国最大、最老的中药的药店。
China came out and announced that they have banned the use of pangolin scales in traditional Chinese medicine. But what do we see? It's just on paper. It is still being used.
The Chinese government maintains that there is a stockpile of pangolin scales that companies and hospitals can legally use. Pangolin scales sourced from Asian pangolins that had been killed many years ago in China. The problem is, this was a finite stockpile, so it's very likely that the original stockpile has been depleted. The demand for pangolin scales is very likely to exceed what is available through the stockpiles. So we think that huge quantities of illicitly sourced pangolin scales in China are being laundered into these stockpiles and then being sold as legal medicines.
In traditional Chinese medicine, there are probably about 12 to 15,000 ingredients of medicine. As a Chinese medicine doctor, people ask me, do you use pangolin scales? I say, I don't. It's completely unnecessary. And this is a very good, in a way, replacement of, pangolin scales. Have exact same function, moving the blood, open the blockage. And they're all pure herbs and looks beautiful, smell beautiful, and you work like wonder. I've been practicing Chinese medicine more than 40 years. I never need to use them. This pangolin scale, I'm patient very happy. We don't need to use these animal products if we can avoid it. There's no such evidence pangolin scales are particularly good for cancer or for other blockage or arthritis or for woman-produced milk. Many other things can be substituted. And some of them has been even done proper scientific research, prove those plants have a better result. But then the question will be asked, why pangolin scales is used in Chinese medicine? Some people get this idea, more expensive the better. And like that's why the pangolin scales become more expensive. People believe the perception. The more they believe, the rare they are, they become more expensive.
I think in the West, we really do not understand traditional Chinese medicine at all. There's the sort of heritage and its value to Chinese culture, but there's also the industry and business component as well. The traditional Chinese medicine market is worth hundreds of billion US dollars a year. With it being such a large industry, there is a significant profit motive here.
Africa is attractive to China because most African countries are poor. They're exploiting them because of their ignorance and because of their poverty level. The carrots they are dangling in front of people, poor people, it's something they cannot resist.
Rita Tenywa, Kofi Bear, ọdẹ òfin bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́pọ̀ débi pé akíka yìí ní gbogbo ohun yẹn ń wá nínú igbó so òun ló wá fà á tó jẹ́ pé ẹran gan-an ó wá dínkù.
I'm looking forward to a time when we want to deal decisively with culprits in wildlife trafficking.
The lack of international cooperation targeting pangolin networks is a big issue. If countries were to come together and investigate these groups more closely, we would see more disruption and probably less pangolin trafficking. But ultimately, the key aspect is for the demand to be ended.
If we stop using, we'll stop trading. Stop trading, we'll stop killing. That's simple logic.
This is the best time to talk about pangolin trafficking, because if we do not do that right now, we will wake up one day and we will not find the pangolins we want to talk about. They would have gone extinct. These are very sensitive animals. Once you keep them for too long, they just die off. They are meant to stay in their particular habitats. I would like to wish Rocky a great life. We will miss you.
Why we should be concerned about the pangolin or other animals? Every members of the world's population, including animals, are part of this world. They have a right to share We live in a whole ecosystem.
Wildlife actually matters. We are alive today because these things are still there. If we cut down all the trees, remove all the wildlife, and we are alone on the planet, how do we survive?